Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I just got through seeing highlights of last night's Philadelphia 76ers versus Brooklyn Nets game. And, it's easy to come back and say, okay, well, they had a game where they came in here and had a big lead and blew it. And Ben Simmons is a distraction. And, they're a young team that needs to just not forget that it needs to play 48 minutes and not 40 minutes. All that kind of stuff is just easy to toss out there. But to be completely honest with you, I saw the highlights and kind of was not really paying attention to the first half to see how it ran up to where Philadelphia had a big lead. I didn't really see how it got to that point, but I did see the choke job, I guess you can call it. And what I saw truly was Doc Rivers doing the same thing the Lakers did that put themselves in a position to have leads get coughed up. You go with these small lineups in the fourth quarter. I don't know what it is about the NBA right now, where these coaches want to just put one real center on the floor and then a undersized four that can shoot the ball on the floor. These teams are doing it. Milwaukee's doing it. Suns did it last year. It's like, I don't like it personally because it leaves you without proper rebounding on the floor. If you're not matching up to what it is that you're going against. You're just putting these lineups on the floor hoping they'll space the floor and give you all types of three-point ability, but what they end up doing is just being a bunch of little guys out ultimately out rebounded by guys who are hustle guys. And that's what I saw out there. The Brooklyn Nets rebounded the ball on a small lineup and turned a 10-point deficit into a 2-point deficit. By the time the Philadelphia 76ers put Tobias Harris back on the floor and all that, it was too late because the Brooklyn Nets had momentum and they were ultimately able to squeeze out the game. Now, there were some things I'm sure that led up to that ultimately catered to it as well. I saw some poor defensive effort in certain situations, guys daring guys to shoot and guys making shots. Poor effort, when guys step into mid-range shots down the stretch on the defensive end. There were sequences where you just didn't see hands in guys' faces. You didn't see people stepping out at all. You just like seeing people just watching people take rhythm shots. And so, look, I understand that you have to respect KD at all times. So if you run past him when he's at a three-point line, he steps in for a mid-range open jump shot, it's because you respect his three-point shot to that degree. But it was a lot of that kind of stuff going on to where you just see a guy take a one-step dribble and a defender just run straight past him or something like that. Or even worse, a guy, as I said, would step into a rhythm shot and a guy will just watch him kind of shoot it. So it was a lot of that going on in the fourth quarter. And you couple that with the sequence that they had around the 7-minute mark where they had a small lineup on the floor. I think it was Embiid, and then I think they had Thibault at the 4. That's not going to work. Thibault's too small. He's a fantastic defender, but that doesn't translate to him being able to rebound over real power forwards. And that's what they ran into, them little bitty lineups, thinking Danny Green was going to be able to rebound over some of those guys that they had out there. No, they had Aldridge out there. That's a real rebounder. They had some guys out there who really do it. So it's like you're going up against James Harden, you're going up against KD. No lead is safe with those guys healthy. They're out there. You got an 8-point lead. That's nothing. That is literally nothing. You might as well be tied dealing with them if it's enough time left on the clock. So that's what we saw. They were able to take advantage of some crappy defense and a small ball lineup in a time where they needed not have small ball on the floor for the Philadelphia 76ers. And as a result, they coughed the game up. So you'll keep on running these little small ball lineups, and you're going to keep on running the coaches that take advantage of it. It's that simple. I've been seeing the theme all over the league. It's just continuing to happen. And I keep saying it. Maybe one of these days, these coaches who are trying to use that crap will understand when and when not to do it. It's definitely not to be done in the fourth quarter. It's not to be done at the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter. No, have size on the floor, because that's when the energy guys are out there, and that's when you're going to have to deal with superstars coming back into the game. And in between that time, in that little circle of time, your little lead that you got going on could be coughed up just with a couple bad rebounding sequences. So that's what we saw. It's exactly what I saw. Poor defense to go along with it. So Philly has problems. These problems are not going to get any better because they are lacking a big piece of what a team needs to succeed. A whole $150 million is not present. So, however you equate that, Ben Simmons is not there. So You know, he has to do what's best for him, and as a result, the team's gonna have to suffer until they figure out what they want to do with his contract. I saw some good things out of Tyrese Maxey. I will say that he stepped into that point guard role well, and he's shooting the ball. And he was the guy that popped off the screen for me for the Philadelphia 76ers. And they need to continue to feed him, continue to give him the ball. He's going to rebound, he's going to give you assists, and he's going to score. So that right there is what you need. I'd like to see him do more defensively. I'd like it to show up, get a couple more steals, things like that. Use his superior speed to get out in the break and really take advantage of people in the passing lanes. I think he can do that. That kid has an all-star appearance in his future, or maybe more, because the talent is clearly there. So luckily enough, Ben Simmons is sitting out in regards to him, and it gives him the point guard position to himself. So he's establishing who he is, and I think he's going to be a star. So that's what I saw from Philly. Brooklyn looks like Brooklyn. You know, they're a little long in the tooth. To be honest with you, they look to me like a team that's kind of coasting. They know that the regular season means nothing to them, but they are trying to establish who they are this year as a team. So they're running out there, and they had a good show out there in the fourth quarter, even though the majority of the game they were getting their butts kicked. And I think we'll see a reoccurring theme of that taking place because their role players are just not going to be able to keep up with some of these athletes and stuff like that on any given night. The majority of what you're going to see the Brooklyn Nets do is just overpower teams with James Harden and KD. Every night they're just going to eat teams up and overcome different things that ultimately are going to make it so that their team is at a disadvantage at times. Great shooting from guys like Patty Mills is going to continue. You know, you can count on him giving you about 20 points off the bench on really good nights. And I think the emergence of Cam Thomas will be the story on the sidelines. Because I think he's going to be a real Rookie of the Year candidate at some point. If they give him the role, which I think he'll be able to take advantage of, the skill set for him to be a massive boost to their scoring is very much there. So with Kyrie out, I expect him to do that. And all in all, that's what I saw, man. That game was it was a choke job. I know a lot of people are saying I saw in the comments that game was a microcosm of Doc Rivers' entire career, because he's coughed up so many playoff series and situations where he's had big leads. But you know, this was a specific issue down there today. This wasn't something that's really juicy for the narratives. Not when you break down what actually happened. They just got out-rebounded in a time when they needed not to be. And when your defense sucks on top of that, your effort isn't where it needs to be on top of that defensively, going up against two Hall of Famers, you're gonna get knocked off. Doesn't matter what the score is. So that's what I always say. And I thank you guys for keeping up with me. My name is BDF44. I'm gonna keep on watching highlights and keep on doing little videos like this if I see anything worth talking about to me. So thank y'all for watching. Peace.